Greetings, Geechlings. Geechin Prime here with my review of One Piece Chapter 895, Luffy the Pirate versus Commander Katakuri. Always the Luffy thing. Yeah. Cover story is now with Harden and his, which I had forgotten about them. It mentioned that the like, uh, five big rollers, whatever it was called. I'm sure every uh, translation was different, but whatever. Harden, he's the captain of the new giant warrior pirates, and so he has a crew of 5 people with him, which they were all part of Buggy's delivery, and they all left. They're like, "Hey, boss, here's our resignation form," and he's like, "What?" It's like, "You were my big money," you know. But so they left with, Buggy yelling in the background. But anyway, obviously, the big thing of this chapter as we move in is Snake Man. We finally got to see it in its full glory, and a lot of people were correct. While it doesn't seem to necessarily focus as much on observation as what people theorized, myself included, it might become more evident later, but Luffy's observation does seem to have improved a bit. But part of that could just be how he's attacking as well. It's messing with Katakuri. But anyway, the Snake Man, it's more or less how people envision. He's smaller, so he's going to be faster, which is the main focus of the form. His arms are covered up to, I'd say, his bicep with hockey, and his legs at least up to his pants. You can't see exactly how far it goes up. There's a veil of smoke kind of wrapped around his shoulders and stuff, which I had forgotten was a part of all of his Gear 4th forms, so my bad. Also, I thought it was fire at first, and I was like, hmm. Which would have been cool given that, he has to use like second gear or gear second and all that to do Red Hawk, so it might have been a nice like thing because this is a superior version. Basically, gear second Mach 2. So, But overall, Luffy looks about what people would expect. His hair is the weirdest thing because why did his hair get longer? All of his other forms seem to be realistic, maybe a little above, because if you've kind of like wild up your hair, it would look about normal in his other forms. But this one, he got like Dragon Ball Z levels of hair going on there. And also, based on a panel, I think on page 8 of Manga Stream's translation, Luffy, when compared to his hat on his back, he's about 3 times bigger than he is normally. But yeah, just a weird observation I made. Anyway, Katakuri notices the change, but doesn't really seem to think of it much. But with the speed boost that Luffy now has and a use of Culverin, Luffy can basically trick Katakuri's observation hockey. Because like he'll dodge the initial punch, but then it curves around and hits him in the back, the side, whatever. And he eventually lands a jet culverin. Uh, Katakuri, after that, uh, goes into a donut form and starts rolling. This is later revealed to be Sliced Mochi Slayer. I might have gone with maybe Spiked Mochi Lariat. The kind of the well, I can't hit my mic, but like the wrestling move, the lariat, if I'm pronouncing that right, might have been what I would have gone with. And like the bend of his arm is covered in hockey, and his mochi has become spiked, and now with the armament, it's much more deadly. And because he's sticky, this goes into the next part of the attack where he flails Luffy around after stretching his arm out and then slams him into the ground, creating a crater. Luffy complains about the pain, obviously, that would hurt just about anybody. and that he's hungry, which I think is supposed to be like a callback to his time training with Raylan. Or Rayleigh. I swear I hear it pronounced differently every time, and I pronounce it differently every time, so hey. Um, but yeah, he says it's like I've cleared my head and now I'm refreshed. So his observation is, I'd say, probably at its peak right now. Um, then he does a flurry of culverins, which later uh, he kind of does the same thing when he does the move Black Mamba, but he never said Black Mamba, so it's hard to really discern the two, you know? Anyway, the two of them have a good old fashioned slugfest, knocking each other back in the end. Luffy uses Black Mamba, similar to what I had just said before. Katakuri dodges, and he sets up another Sliced Mochi Slayer. Luffy sets up a King Cobra, which seems to be a longer, bigger version of Culverin, it looks like. All of the moves are just extensions of Culverin, really. Um, they both roar as they rush at each other. Who will be the victor? Who will walk out of the mirror world, you know, from the smoky terrain that is this battlefield anymore? Well, we have about 2 weeks to find out. So, haha, oh, you Oda. But yeah, overall, I give the chapter a 4.5. The action was great. Katakuri and Luffy's moves were very impactful. The highlight, obviously, was Snake Man. The half point is also due to Snake Man. You know, due to discussions, the hype, the theories people had about what it would look like, what he could do. I'm a little disappointed because like a lot of people were saying like that his torso would be covered in hockey and he could bend like Culverin using his torso. Well, be it that that could be done in the future because as I mentioned, he is much smaller than he other forms, but he's still bigger than like normal base Luffy. So he could probably in certain situations cover up his torso and do that. But so that could be rectified later on. But you know, it's still a minor disappointment. Uh, and also uh, the uh, the hair. I still don't get the hair. I mean, it could be based on the Neo or Nio statues, which are like demonic guardian warriors and such. Uh, which maybe it just Oda drew so much inspiration from it, including the hair. But I think theirs are like in ponytails, so I don't know. But I guess Luffy doesn't have his in a ponytail, so it would be similar. You know, I don't know. But anyway, you know, I I still enjoyed the chapter, just, you know, a couple minor points. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Keishan Prime, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.